Coming up on Mountain News this morning, state leaders gather at a vaccine clinic in order to get their dose of the COVID booster. And a new shelter in one Kentucky city dedicates itself to help veterans in need here in the Commonwealth.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Well, good morning to you at 6 o'clock on this Thursday morning. I'm Dakota Makris. Thank you for waking up with us. Let's head over to Brandon for a look at that forecast. Brandon, no fog on my way in. I don't know about you. I guess that's a good sign.
Good. Yep, absolutely. My drive was good this morning. Yeah. But again, the rain is on the way. The clouds are on the way. At least you didn't take us back a couple of days this time, Dakota. So we're in better shape than we have been. All right, let's take a look at this forecast this morning. And we are going to see again those clouds on the way in. No rain just yet, though. That comes a little bit later today. And you'll still see some sunshine, I think, at times in some places this morning. Temperatures ranging from the upper 30s in Jonesville and Middlesboro to about 61 there in Logan. Everybody else kind of falling in between. A lot of 50s out there this morning. Average high down to 59 for this time of the year. Today, our forecast high is 70, and that's just shy of a record set back on this day in 2012. We'll have to keep an eye and see if we get too close to that there. Southwest winds will crank those temperatures up as we head deeper into the daytime hours. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. We are tracking how long it took Kentucky to reach 10,000 COVID deaths. 1,000 Kentuckians died from the virus less than 200 days into the pandemic. We reached 6,000 deaths after a state backlog was released. The rate slowed down after hitting 7,000, but in the last couple of months, the number sharply increased to 10,000. Well, Wednesday was a big day for state leaders in Frankfort. They gathered yesterday to get their COVID-19 booster shots at a vaccine clinic and to discuss why it is important to get vaccinated against the virus. A big day for state leaders at the Capitol Rotunda.
Before we start, let's remember that we're not just battling for the lives and the health of our people. We're battling for our future because we have an economy on fire.
Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman, Governor Andy Beshear's senior advisor Rocky Adkins, and Senator David P. Givens, among others, received their COVID-19 booster shot.
Some studies suggest 80% of people out there, certainly over 18, will qualify for a booster.
The Lieutenant Governor saying she got the booster shot to protect the most vulnerable people, including her 21-month-old daughter, saying her 3 older kids are vaccinated.
And will be boosted as soon as they can, and that leaves us with one who is not yet cleared to get the vaccine, and that little member of Team Kentucky means a whole lot to us.
At Wednesday's vaccine clinic, more than 200 people received a booster.
6 months after getting your first shot, I believe everybody should be able to get a booster because waning immunity is real, and we want to lessen the spread.
The governor saying younger people need to become vaccinated.
We see 30-year-olds passing away, and that age group isn't signing up enough. We lost an 11-year-old on yesterday's report. So while that is rare, nobody wants it to be their 11-year-old. I have an 11-year-old.
Rolling up their sleeves to do their part. In Frankfort, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News. Well, the governor said he is praying for the family of the 11-year-old. He encouraged Kentuckians to light their homes green last night to show compassion for those who lost a loved one to COVID. Well, workers at the 3M plant in Harrison County protested a vaccine mandate yesterday. Some workers are upset with the company's requirement to get vaccinated or be fired. Now, 3M is a federal contractor, so its employees do not have an option to opt for weekly testing. The deadline for vaccination is January 4th.
We want to come back to work. We want to do our jobs. But the mandate of vaccine and tell us what we have to put in our body just so we can make some Post-it notes and Scotch tape, that's not right.
Well, last week, Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron sued the Biden administration because of the vaccine mandate for federal contractors. A 27-year-old Corbin woman is recovering after being on a ventilator since August. Her family is calling it a miracle. Grayson Passmore shares her remarkable story of survival.
She might be 27, but she's still my baby. Lena Brown says it was a miracle when she had Kristen Stevens 27 years ago, never expecting her baby would eventually need a miracle of her own.
I've been with different people in my family that have been so sick and went through things, but it's nothing as heart-wrenching as your child.
Kristen, her husband, and their 4-year-old son all tested positive for COVID in August. While her family experienced relatively mild symptoms, Kristen has underlying health conditions and quickly became very ill. She was admitted to Baptist Health Corbin on August 15th and put on a ventilator 3 days later.
And I had to say, God, I give my daughter back to you. You gave her to me. She was my gift that you gave me. But now I give her back to you because there's nothing I can do. She's in your hands.
After months of prayer and waiting by the phone, anxious for more bad news every time it rang, Brown and her family finally heard something positive.
And I know God wouldn't take that away from her, this baby that needs his mommy so bad.
Brown says the only way she can think to describe her daughter's recovery is as a miracle from God.
So I know that he's not through with her, and she's going to reach so many through this.
Hoping Kristen's story serves as a reminder that the pandemic isn't over.
Team Mommy, yes.
Team Mommy.
And also a message of hope, resilience, and faith. Kristen eager to get home.
Okay, let's go.
And her little boy eager to have her back. In Corbin, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
Well, the family is selling T-shirts to raise money for Kristen's medical expenses. A Floyd County woman and recently retired nurse who worked in the front lines of the COVID-19 pandemic won $200,000 yesterday. That there is the winning scratch-off ticket that the Eastern Kentucky woman won. And get this, she was just hours into her first day of retirement when she decided to get the $10 scratch-off ticket. Whew, what a win for her. She did wish to remain anonymous. Lucky her. Madison County is hosting its inaugural Thankful Thursday event starting next week. It's a dual event where you can get a COVID vaccination shot and donate food to God's Pantry. Chelsea Jones and photojournalist Darnell Crenshaw explain how this is a way to thank Madison County healthcare workers for all their efforts in the past 20 months.
I'm always honored when we can come together and show our appreciation for how awesome our community is and to support all of our community members. And that really is what Thankful Thursday is all about.
At an 11 a.m. press conference, Madison County leaders announced their plan for the inaugural Thankful Thursday. The idea is simple. It's a mix of injection and collection.
A drive-through vaccination clinic opportunity and a food drive to benefit our local food pantries and food banks here in Madison County.
Community leaders wanted to say thank you to local healthcare workers for their efforts over the past 20 months. Healthcare professionals say getting vaccinated is thanks enough. Currently, the number of Madison County residents fully vaccinated sits at under 50%.
And we know we can do better than that in Madison County.
That's the injection. As far as the food collection,
in Madison County, that's almost 3,000 people that have food insecurities. So everything that we can do individually helps.
Where are we going to put your groceries? In the trunk?
This is God's Outreach Food Bank in Richmond. Thanksgiving is near, and this facility is in need of food drive items. For example, these empty racks were full of bread. Assistant Director of God's Outreach, Mandy A.G., say Thankful Thursday will help replenish.
But we are really in need of food drive items. That has been down recently, and we're kind of down to our last items for that, so it's going to be a huge help.
Madison County officials hope receiving a shot and donating food at the same time will help everyone now and into the new year.
You have a good day now, okay?
In Richmond, Chelsea Jones, WKYT.
Well, Thankful Thursday will be on November 18th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Armed Forces Reserve Center next to the main gate of the Bluegrass Army Depot in Richmond. A library is honoring a World War II veteran from Lee County. Woodrow Booth, known as Woody, died earlier this year at the age of 99. Some of his belongings are now on display in Covington, where he spent part of his life. Staff say they are honored for a chance to teach others about his service.
We're losing World War II veterans daily. I think the more we can learn from them, gather their stories, collect their artifacts and photos, the more we can use that to understand how we got where we are today.
Booth's Purple Heart is one of the artifacts on display at the library. You can also see his uniform, which was too small for the library's smallest mannequin. A new shelter in Lexington is helping those who served our country. The Mother Teresa Veterans Shelter was dedicated to the city yesterday. While the shelter was officially opened more than a month ago, it received its blessing from several religious leaders. Before the shelter was used, veterans would be housed in individual homes.
They can develop this sense of moving from homelessness to having a home with all the surround services that are more readily available in one location like this.
The shelter fluctuates between 6 and 8 veterans living there, but Director Jenny Ramsey hopes it can house 16 once the pandemic is over.
.610 here on this Thursday morning, Friday Eve. Took me a second. I almost got Dakota-itis there for just a second. 52 in Harlan this morning, 39 in Middlesboro, 37 in Jonesville, 57 right now. Pikeville still at the warmest spot in the region there at Logan at 61. A lot of 40s and 50s out there this morning. 70 this afternoon. Some rain chances will be along later as that cold front rolls into the region. As we take a look at our headlines, we are going to continue to see that cold front moving into town later this afternoon and this evening. A big time cool down behind it. And some weekend sun at times, but it won't be all sunshine. There could be some chances for a little bit of everything there in the nighttime hours as well. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. And thank you for joining Mountain News this morning at 6:11. More news is on the way. If you're currently planning on buying your potential dream house, you might want to wait just a little longer.